I'm just being honest. I think a lot of men are vindictive. They do not care about their family. Like I was just making a point earlier to y'all. Like I'm seeing so many women popping up pregnant, but you haven't posted a picture of a man in 6 or 7 months, and it's not because you're a private person, but it's because you got pregnant by the wrong person.
Right. Welcome to another episode of Krisp Konversations. I'm your host, Kris, and these are my co-hosts. Say what's up, y'all.
Hey, y'all, it's Ashley. I'm Alana. Try Jesus, don't try me.
What's happening, y'all? It's Sean D. White, and the D is for deal with it.
We gotta deal with him.
Always.
Right. So, as usual, we will have a drinking game. When you hear the word ego, you're taking a sip. We're going to keep it loose, raw, and have fun, but most importantly, we're going to say that shit.
Say that shit.
Alana.
She doesn't want to curse. It's okay.
All right, so let's just jump into it. This episode will be about dating men or being married to one. Sean, I know you've been waiting on this.
Oh yeah, I've been waiting on this. So everyone, please be prepared of this level of honesty that I'm going to give on this episode.
It's one-sided. You're the only man.
Right, so that means it could get real in the field. So, all of that.
Whatever, we ready.
Okay.
Alright, so we just gonna jump right into it. The first question is, why do y'all think most men aren't in relationships or married? Like, how many single men do y'all know?
I don't really know many single men.
Because you don't know me. I'm just literally sitting here, but you don't know me. Okay.
But are they really single?
Yes, they
that's
are.
really the part for me, because they really don't be single.
Like, what's single?
Okay, that would be me, once again. But not in a relationship, not in a situationship, not texting nobody on the low, not asking somebody for date night and stuff like that. That is completely single to me.
That will require your phone to be like dry.
Yeah, and that's what it is. You see the bit that went off the whole time I've been here.
It's on silent, we don't know.
Here, my ringer was on. You're funny.
No, but seriously though, why do y'all feel like men aren't getting into relationships, or why aren't they getting married?
I think it's a part of the culture. I think the culture is teaching and telling them, it's just showing that it's okay to be it's okay not to have somebody so that they won't use up your money. They promote women as users.
Cap.
Well, I won't necessarily say that, but in all honesty, I feel like a lot of women are giving the men the relationship without the titles.
Yeah, I feel like women are making themselves too accessible.
Too accessible.
Like you being a wife and you ain't even a girlfriend.
There you
Like,
go. Yeah.
Okay, before we get into that, I'll say a big part of that is our whole generation, but a big part of dating right now is no one wants to compromise.
Ego.
Sure. But that's a big part of it because no one wants to compromise. I think that's why a lot of men are staying single, albeit because a woman may make more money or she's been single for a while. She doesn't necessarily want to.
I've heard from a very personal person in my life.
Okay.
My husband.
All right.
That the word compromise is made for women. Like, he says that compromise is a way for women to get what they want in a relationship. Do you feel that way?
But we are.
No, because I definitely use the word compromise.
Okay.
Because I feel like any marriage, any relationship, it takes compromise and collaboration for you to be with someone. It doesn't matter if you're a man and a woman, and if you're unwilling to compromise, your marriage will crumble before your very eyes. So I don't agree with that at all.
You gotta bend and break.
For sure.
I don't know if you gotta break, but you for sure gotta bend.
Yeah,
You do.
Yeah.
for sure.
So, like, do y'all think men want to be in a relationship? Like, do you feel like they were taught to be players from uncles, dads, or whatever, and so therefore they dodge being in a relationship? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm gonna answer the question first. I kind of feel like to a certain age, a man wants to play. There's very few men who at 21, 22 say like, I want to settle down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
That was me though.
they want to play a little bit. I think women, our generation might have been the last generation. It's like,
I'm like, what you
I want to be married at 21, 22. Now it's like, I want to play too. So with that being said, how do you feel about men not getting into relationships? Like, do you think it's a learned behavior from uncles, dads?
I think what you grow up around is probably what you'll dictate to. So, for example, my grandparents were together from their 20s and had like 10 plus kids and were married all the way to 100. Yeah.
They had no
It
TV.
may have been more than 10. No, they ain't had no condoms. That's what it was. They was born around the 10s and 20s, so one of condoms.
Nah.
They didn't know nothing about that.
That pull-out method was not a
They're
thing.
still not working.
But no, what I'm saying is I grew up around love, so that's what I wanted. It wasn't necessarily about my ego. So yeah, that's what I wanted from that young age all the way up until, you know, where I'm at now in my 30s.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also feel like I said that once they get a certain age, they want to get married. But I also feel like once they hit a certain age, they don't want to get married no more. Like the 40-year-old player in the club. Remember that episode of Martin? It was like young fools turning to old fools.
Yeah.
Like once you hit a certain age, you're so used to being single in your ways, being a player. You're still not looking to get settled down, but
Yeah, I think that's a part of it too, but I also think it's just probably having the companionship with someone as opposed to getting married. Because as a man, as you get older, your finances change as well, or at least they should if you're pushing for more. And so marrying someone and having to factor them into your decisions, and ultimately you all not being together anymore and them taking half of something they didn't work for scares a lot of men as well. And so that is a big part of
you
it.
get prenup, postnup.
That too, but that's not always.
Who wants always going to?
And do we really got money?
I mean, look, I said as you get older, you should, but some people.
Because I'm not fighting for the 2-bedroom house with 1 bath. I'm just playing.
I'm crying.
I think a lot of men straddle the fence with that. So yes, a lot of men, and especially in our community, they grew up with uncles saying, "See what's out there. Don't let somebody hold you down, man. You need to see what's out there. So many different women. You don't know what's out there. Don't miss out." But then they find somebody that they really like, and so they're kind of like, "Oh my gosh, I want to do these things for her. It's not just that that I feel like I have to, but then I don't want to be a sucker. I don't want uncles and all of those who taught me, hey man, don't let this woman run you." So I think it's very hard that they're trying to.
I wouldn't listen. I sit up here and try to make it work with several people through my 20s when somebody told me from the jump, do not date in your 20s at all. You're not going to meet the one. I don't care what it looks like. And yeah, it could have saved me a lot of heartache, a lot of disappointment and sadness had I not tried to date someone serious in my 20s. So yeah.
Get your hands
So with that being said, do you think men are just naturally bad people?
Whew. Well, I would say yes.
Ooh. I love the honesty.
disagree.
Usually I'm on men's side, but like,
do you naturally bad people, but do they wish women well or don't wish?
hell no. I don't think they do either. I think
Gosh, it just cutthroat.
I'm just being honest. I think a lot of men are vindictive. They do not care about their family. Like I was just making a point earlier to y'all. Like I'm seeing so many women popping up pregnant, but you haven't posted a picture of a man in 6 or 7 months, and it's not because you're a private person, but it's because you got pregnant by the wrong person.
Right.
And so a lot of men, it's one thing to say fuck the woman, but to also say fuck the children as well. That's not right. And a lot of that is going on in our community. So no, I don't think there's a lot of good men. I think there's more men that probably wish wrong and not well to women than men who do.
Does it have anything to do with their ego?
Oh, of course. A lot of men are driven by ego.
I mean, I can't say. I feel like in today's world, or I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say that men are bad people because I don't feel like all men are bad.
And we're not saying all, but
not all,
you know.
but for the majority,
Mm-hmm.
they just want to play. I feel like most men want to play. Like, it's a lot of women out here being mistreated by men. Like, they're being taken for granted. Like, a lot of men just want the perks of a wife, but don't want a wife. Better, not even a wife, but a committed relationship. And it's a lot of women out here who are willing to cook, clean, feed, fuck, and finance a man and not getting anything from them. So, like, if they can get that from anybody, what makes somebody who is that it may be equally yoked any different? If they can just find somebody who, oh, she'll do this because I said her. Told her,
right, and that's what it is. I think a big part that we're leading out as is there's a difference between boys and men.
That's true.
And it has nothing to do with your age. You know, I'm 35 and da-da-da. It's still a lot of grown boys walking around.
Agreed.
And a testament to that is them not being raised right, number one. Or number two, getting to a certain age and being like, okay, I'm seeing this cycle in my family. And a lot of the boys that I'm seeing that are even grown are still very much acting like this. I need to break this cycle with me. I need to change all of this intergenerational trauma that's going on and be better than this.
So, with that being said, therapy. Do you think men who grow up in traumatized situations, i.e. no father, or maybe an abusive father, or a mother who, forgive me, y'all, may have been a little promiscuous, I'll say that.
Okay.
They had different men in and out of their lives. Do you think that today's men are afraid to seek the help they need to be the men?
I wouldn't even say afraid. I would just say stubborn at this point.
Yeah, that's a good word.
And for black people, everyone, men and women, but especially men, you need therapy. And
Agreed.
A lot of men...
Women too, though.
Absolutely.
We all need therapy.
For sure.
I love a couch.
Of course.
Okay.
I do therapy.
Virtual, you know,
that's cool too. You know what I'm saying?
No, I do therapy every week because, like I said, those things that I was seeing from boys in my family, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to bring that to my wife. I don't want to bring that to my children. So yeah, men will keep running away from it. And I don't need that, and da 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 da. Like it's so many things out there that can have their mind go one way. Because some people who are religious will be like, well, no, you don't need therapy. You just need God. And I'm like, you're tripping. You know what I mean? Like you still do need that. So yeah, it's not necessarily scared to. It's stubbornness at this point. Once you reach your grown age.
And it's shunned upon in our community. Well, it used to be. I know when we were growing up, you were looked at as, you were deemed as crazy. You were deemed as crazy, as cuckoo. Like you were just kind of
weak. Like it made you look weak.
Rooted in ego.
Yeah,
it did.
Y'all in this one.
The fact that we gotta throw it in there.
It was so. Now people are feeling like, I think that people are feeling like I may or may not go. Some people, but men especially, are like, I'm still not gonna express myself like that because it's none of their business. My dad handled it, my granddaddy handled it, they figured it out. They didn't figure it out. They did not figure it out. Yeah. They hurt people along the way.
They hurt your grandma and your mama along the way.
And she just suffered silently. Yeah. And women are not willing to put up with that. Men either these days. Like we're just not a part of that generation that's willing to put up with it. Wives go to therapy. You need to be good for your husband. Husbands go to therapy.
Because I really ain't trying to put my kids in therapy, but I will.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they can have a small couch.
Right. A little chair. They have a little chair.
You can, since and let's put it out there, we're all in therapy.
Oh,
absolutely.
Yeah,
that's
for sure.
But I think that you as a mother, you are their counselor, so they're the beginning of this healed generation. So, but
I just think it's kind of crazy how men want women to be like, number one, their ego booster. Their maid, a good sex partner, a cook, caregiver,
sure,
laundromat,
right.
All the above.
And what are they?
Providers. Like I give you money, but where are?
So you my pimp and I'm your trick is what you're saying.
Hey, say that shit. But where are the men who really, really tap into what a woman needs? Like, where are they?
Well, once again, you looking at one.
Okay.
But
my brother is selling himself. Y'all better come get him.
What's
no. But no, I'm saying, like, I think the biggest part is couples as a whole are not listening to each other. I'll tell you one example. I was going to New Orleans for Essence Fest, and there was a couple next to me, and they were so smiling and so giddy, and I could tell they had been together for over 25 years, and then, like, they've been married for like 22 years. And so I'm just like, what's the secret to your beautiful marriage? And
sex.
And the
all the time.
No.
Well,
no. The man said happy wife, happy life. Stop.
Okay.
The woman said, yeah, but I need him happy too.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have that mindset.
Okay.
Because they only think about if the woman's happy, then the whole marriage is good.
That's selfish.
Right. But a lot of people do think that way.
I think when people think that way, if a woman is happy, a happy woman will take on the world.
Sure.
For her family and her, like, the husband included. So I think when people are saying if the woman is happy, the household is good, just means like I need to keep her mentally stable, sane, make sure she's good, and then she can make sure the rest of us is good without feeling overwhelmed.
Sure.
Because ultimately we end up feeling overwhelmed. Like, it's hard enough to run a household, but you throw kids in the mix.
Sure. It's
Toddlers?
Yeah. It's a lot.
That's why I'm a single gay friend.
You said what now?
That's why I'm a single gay
We didn't
friend.
hear you. Toddlers is enough. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Sure.
maybe having you question your existence on Earth. Like,
I'm with you.
So I think I understand what you're saying, what they're saying. Yeah, I want to make sure he's happy too. But ultimately, it's hard for me to make sure he's happy if I'm not getting what I need or what I deserve.
I think another biggest part is people root their happiness in someone else, and that's the biggest way
happiness
to.
Is definitely you.
Sure, but certain
But
people will
he does
interpret
have a
it
point.
that way into
Yeah.
thinking if I'm getting for me to be happy, and they think that's where their happiness lies instead of within, because a lot of people.
I'm happy if you take the trash out.
Okay.
That's somebody else.
I got you.
But like, stuff that truly makes me happy is like being down here with y'all, talking to y'all, doing the podcast. Like, I need to have my own thing.
Sure.
Because I am a wife and I am a mom and I do have a full-time job, but I need a piece of me. So as long as I'm able to get that out the way that I need it to be perceived,
Sure.
then I'm a much better person Monday through Friday. Come Saturday and Sunday, them kids go to their grandma. But for the most part, I just need a piece of me. Like, I need to feel like Kris, not my wife, not mom.
Okay, that makes sense.
So you're saying, so you need to be 100% whole.
Yeah.
People need to stop seeing it as, and this is the way I feel, it's not 50-50. I need to be 100. He needs to be 100.
With yourselves first.
With yourselves. Yeah.
First.
Right, so that we can put our best foot forward.
Right.
So that means therapy.
Yeah.
That means therapy so that, because I can't do this by myself. In this relationship, I need God and I need therapy because I need somebody to talk to.
With an unbiased opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
And I need a guidance spiritually.
Yeah.
Because if I feel like I'm the God in my life, I'll start running life like that and I'll run this household into the ground. But when I know I have somebody to answer to, I'm a little bit more humble. This is just personally this is just my household. I need to be the best person by having somebody continually tell me, hey, this is how you correct that so you can be good for this man.
Absolutely.
So today's current event topic is about Morris Chestnut and his wife. They've been married for 28 years, but Morris Chestnut has admitted that they've had problems, but they've learned how to respect each other even when angry. Why do you think today's generation don't think like this? Why do they want to put in the work, but find it okay to disrespect each other?
I think the biggest part of that is people are just quitters, and women and men can strive in their lives getting degrees. They can strive in their jobs, their careers, corporate jobs, but when it comes to relationships and trying to work out something with someone, they just completely give up because that's much more easier, which is crazy when you think about it, because if you work a full-time job 5 days a week, but it comes to your relationship and something you may just have to do, like, you know, work at a few hours out the day or at the end of the week, it's just like, no, it's easier just to run away. People, I think, are very fearful of direct communication with the person and hearing certain sentiments such as, hey, I didn't necessarily like when you did this, because they are very much rooted in ego.
Well, personally, I think everybody just thinks, I keep on being sorry. I think everybody just feels like, they just be like, fuck it, I can find somebody else.
Quitters.
Yeah, well, true. Yeah, true.
That's
Same
the same
thing. But they always think that it is somebody better. But in actuality, I feel like when you find that person, you know, and once you find them and take that step, and then that ends up horrible, then after that, you be like, I mean, it just is what it is. I don't think it's necessary. I lost my train of thought, sorry.
I think that the reality that I think a lot of people don't want to talk about, and it's something like you just said, is that there's always someone else that I could meet, right?
Yeah.
And they go their whole lives thinking that they're going to meet someone else.
Right.
But you're not, because that goes back to what we said earlier in compromise.
Right.
Yeah, there we go.
And it's just going to be a repetitive cycle if you just keep having the same behavior and not communicating and
So
having boundaries
You gotta do
in
that
your
self-work.
relationship. Right, and so
Like what you said earlier, you gotta be 100%.
100%. So really, you need to get in therapy before you all are married, while you're dating, so that you can understand each other, so that you're whole. And then once you get in, while you're dating, before you even get married, you need to be communicating. And sometimes a lot of people didn't grow up with communication, so they take communication as threats. It's not a threat.
It's not.
I'm here to
talk to you, figure it out with you.
And I have the patience for it. But let's not take everything as a jab. And sometimes you'll feel that way. I feel that way. Everybody will feel that way. But suck it up.
Me personally, I think social media plays a detriment role in relationships nowadays. Because you can see all these posts about people who have perfect relationships, and you're looking at your partner like, well, why you didn't do that?
Sure.
They did this.
Sure.
They did that. You can also see like these perfect relationships and not know behind closed doors these people going through shit. Like, and that's not fair. So I think that also it's always somebody in your DMs. You might get into an argument with your husband or your wife, and you could post a picture on social media.
And 5 minutes later,
somebody like me, like, hey,
yeah,
you still married?
Right.
You still with that person?
Exactly.
True.
So like a lot of people want to straddle the fence of being outside and being inside, but you can't be both.
Yeah.
Like you got to be 10 toes down in whatever you do.
Yeah, and
So-
let me, my bad, I don't mean to slide in, but I'll just say this. I let people know who are rooted in ego. Sorry, I have no more drink, but y'all can drink for me.
Well, then what you say the word for?
Hey, y'all need to finish yours. But no, someone who is rooted in ego and feels like, hey, you know, you're cool, but I can get this, da-da-da. I am very quick to tell them, go see if the grass is greener on the other side.
Yeah.
Because once your ass get over there and see nothing but weeds and dandelions, you're going to figure out.
But don't come back to my green lawn.
Absolutely.
Don't.
Because once you get with a person in a relationship, you're dating or you're married, all the I's and me's go out the window. People are rooted in individualism and do not understand that it's a we. It's a us. It's
right.
versus the problem, not
It's
us
us
versus
and we.
each other.
Say that shit.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So a lot of people in our generation think like that, and that prevents them from making, you know, any type of, you know, consistent relationship with people because they are so rooted in self.
Yeah.
A lot of us are rooted in self, and you have to do the work on yourself, like you said, Alana, to get out of that way of thinking, or your ass will be alone for the rest of your life.
Or you'll just be going from relationship to relationship,
That
thinking
too.
that it's the other person, it's you.
It's been you. 'Cause you are the common denominator in every failed relationship.
Everyone.
Whether you know it or not.
Go sit on that couch.
Go sit on that couch. Lay on that couch.
Right, I was about to say, keep your feet back, lay up, everything.
Alright, y'all. With that being said, it's been another episode of Krisp Konversations. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channels. Follow us on Instagram. I'm blowing my horn. The link will be down at the bottom.
Gracious_gift3.
A touch of Lux, ATL.
A Hampton too.
Alright, thanks for tuning in, y'all. Next time.
Peace.
Keep it crisp.